Sup? I am a Reiki master teacher and intuitive, and today we have a special healing session, and it is all about loving you is easy. So if you're new to the community, welcome, babies. This is your nightly self-care routine, a place where you just take care of yourself. You can do what you need to do during this time. So welcome all my new babies, and welcome back to all my returning babies. Mama loves you. Let's go ahead and get started. As you can see, your girl is back from her B-Day vacay, and I'm doing what I do when I do it. So, let's go ahead and get started. We start our session off with a prayer. It is not a religious prayer. It's just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, to have your permission to say a prayer. May I touch you? Okay. Inhale. Exhale. Let's begin. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and invalidate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe. Ashe, Ashe, okay. So, let's go ahead and begin. This energy that we all are surrounded by is unconditional love. And for those who explain the divine as God or universe or source or whatever it is that you explain the divine as, that's your business. I tell you that all the time. You have figured that out. That is unconditional love. And so this healing today is all about aligning you with that unconditional love and letting you have this glimpse of understanding that loving you is very easy. So if you're in situations where you don't feel valuable, you might be struggling with trying to love yourself, or you're not receiving the love that you need from important people in your life, understand that God, universe, source, divine, whatever you call this out here, is here, always connected, shows up on multiple levels. We have archangels, we have our ancestors, we have all these energetic helpers. Everything is simply just a reflection of the unconditional love that the universe has for you. So let's begin by connecting. Okay? Breathing in and out. In and out. Now I'm saying it kind of fast, but I'm not saying breathe real fast. No, I'm not saying that. I'm gonna just say, just breathe in and out, and you take your own time here, and just follow your own consciousness to your source, to your origin, to your birth, to when your soul came here. And see what that conversation was with the universe as you entered into this experience. How did you feel at that moment? What were you surrounded by? People actually describe having NDE, near-death experiences, as moments in which, as a person or an adult, feeling like they are reconnected to source or where the soul is, because when we come in as a baby, we're not done growing in our physical body, so it's hard to recount the experience. And when we're on our way out, when we're older, we typically, we don't jump in and then turn around and be like, well, let me tell you how it goes. So these near-death experiences are kind of situations in which people who are living say, okay, so this is kind of what happens to the soul. But what I think it amplifies is more of an understanding that of all of the experiences that I've heard, everyone always said it is an unconditional love. It is a very, they'll say it's the light and things like that, but more importantly, it's alluring. It's this unconditional love. So things in a higher vibrational way. It's not about sadness. It's not about rage or anger. It's not about the mistakes we've made in our past. It's not about any of that. It's about how do we find our way back to the light? How do we find our way back to unconditional love? And I think it's even more important that going through life, figuring out how to find our way back to the light in spite of those things is probably much more powerful than if we were already there. Because the soul came into this body for an experience and for a reason. And the reason is for growth. And how can we grow if we don't look at our life and say, well, how do I get to a better place? And everyone on this earth has experienced difficult times. And having experienced those difficult times, the soul is learning how to deal with that. And if it finds a way to bring itself into unconditional love on the other side, the soul elevates and grows. So allow your soul to connect to its individual purpose, because we all have our own unique reasons why we're here. And start to see your life right in front of your face with no judgment, and allow that life to just show. And start to see how every obstacle was a blessing, how it led you somewhere to a greater opportunity. And that perception is pretty much the only thing that has separated us from thinking, wow, that actually was a blessing in disguise versus that was a trauma. Sometimes these realizations happen within ourselves only. And I've been saying this since 2019. There are some really messed up things that happen in people's lives that they make peace with, but it is not a public display of understanding, because people won't get it. If you have something really tough that happens to you, and then you see now how it was purposeful in your path, saying that in front of a group of people, especially those who are dealing with their own traumas and their own process, and they're needing to heal in their own way, can be very tough. So there are some things that we rightfully so can share with others, and then there's other things that when we get to a place of peace, we keep it to ourselves. And I cannot emphasize more that your peace is not a public, announcement. It's not a public display. Your peace is within here. There will be pieces of you that you can share with others, but there will be pieces of you that will just be for yourself. And to truly have your peace, your balance, to receive the love that you need, you cannot give everything away. You cannot give your deepest thoughts and feelings and understandings away. You cannot let everyone see every part of you at all time. You just can't. It's not going to work out for you. Instead, what you do is you decide, this is what I want to share with collective and community. And on the other side, you say, this is what I want to keep for me. Not everything is for public consumption. This is important because when you tell other people your hopes and dreams before you're ready to actually complete them, you're really open and vulnerable to their opinion, and that might derail you even if they're not intending on being negative. But we also have this craving as a species to be connected, and we want to have support from others. You have to understand that there's internal support that you have, and there's external support. When you have your hopes and dreams, that's you. You gotta support yourself. But when you start to come into the collective space and you 100% be loved unconditionally and love yourself unconditionally. Nothing actually has to change except you simply receiving that. But I'm going to say it one more time. Just because you have this realization does not mean you can share it with everybody. You gotta wait until what is happening on the inside starts to show up on the outside, and then you can share it with others, because your healing journey is your journey. So receive right now in this moment the unconditional love, that everything that has ever happened to you was for a purpose, for your highest vibrational good, and you get to define what that story is. You get to make changes to the narrative, but you get to decide what you need to understand, know, and believe in order to make this all make sense, and to inspire you to share your gifts and to be in collective and community. Breathing in and out. We will not be debating your healing, okay? If you're healing and you want to give yourself permission to simply just heal and be done with everything in the past, anything that has happened to you or any mistake you've ever made, and you say today, I'm done with it, I'm going to leave it where it's at. In the discussion, there's no conversation that needs to be had. But in order to do that, that is something that happens on the inside. You may not be able to share that with others. And we are so focused on wanting validation from other people that we make that decision. Then we look to others to validate that, and they say, no. And then we second guess ourselves. You gotta cut the other people's opinions out and just make the decision. This is the day I receive unconditional love. I only accept unconditional love in my life. I only accept unconditional love from myself. I know I'm connected to universe, source, God, or whatever it is you believe. I know I'm connected to a divine energy, a divine presence that loves me unconditionally and just showers me, with cleansing and understanding, and everything was for a purpose. And you can breathe that each and every moment of your life. You can breathe that into the essence of your work, into your everyday stuff, and simplify. Don't take on too much. Don't feel like you have to live up to everybody's expectations, and you only have a little bit of time to live up to your own. And also create room for the person you're growing to be. You don't know what that person that you're going to become, you don't know what their interests are. You don't know how their personality is going to be. All you can do is just create space and have faith as you walk forward into this next, as I've been saying, iteration of you. And with that being said, loving you is easy. Just in a moment, in a second, you will, can, and have been receiving unconditional love your whole life. It's time for you to pay attention to it. Sometimes we have the habit of paying attention to the things that make us, the things that are negative more than the things that are going well. I remember, a lot of people say this, you gotta pray for your haters. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't pray for my haters. Why? Because I pray for my supporters. Like that, like the mentality of what do we focus on? I pray that the people who support me are cleansed abundantly and are given the greatest many, but you're on this path and you have everything you need in front of you, and you are already loved unconditionally. So the more that you take your blinders off and just sit and receive and enjoy, the more you step into your destiny, the more that you heal, the more that you can actually share your gifts that your soul came into this body having with others. Well, family, I hope you enjoyed our session today, and I hope you know how special you are. And I tell you all the time that I love you, and I know that even though I'm saying that I love you, what I'm really saying is give yourself permission to love yourself. Like, that's pretty much what I'm saying. Give yourself permission to love yourself. You don't need my love. You need your love. And understand that this unconditional love that we all have access to at all times is available to you right now and in this moment. Well, babies, if no one has said it, let me go ahead and say I love you. But who cares that I love you? Love yourself a little bit more each and every day. Okay, until next time, sweetness.